Good morning, you sexy monkeys. Welcome back to Sky Gene Experience. I am tired as fuck. I was up to like 2 in the morning last night, then I got up at like 7. It's now 8:30. Did a little research, watched some videos. Now I'm ready to fucking go, guys. We're going to do Jaws 2. I absolutely love Jaws 2. I think it's such a great sequel. It's not close to the first, but it definitely beats the other three in Revenge, number 3 and 4. Way better than those. I think this holds up very well. I've seen this almost just as much as the original Jaws movie. That's how much this movie holds up. I love this movie a lot.
I have just created something totally illogical. It's really interesting.
You believed in the magic. It happened. Isn't that enough?
Annie, it's more than that. I feel it as strongly as I've ever felt anything in my life. There's a reason.
Go the distance.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It's more than that. It's perfect.
You're a lawyer, he is your father. You leave now, you will regret it.
I have no choice but to stay focused on what's right in front of me.
Do you believe that America is the land of opportunity?
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, he passed on this. There's no way he was going through that shit again. He did have an idea for a prequel, though, for this movie. The story was supposed to go is a prequel where Quint is on the USS Indianapolis and they get bombed and attacked by the sharks. And he was going to show his side of his story of what happened then, which led to the reason why he hates sharks so fucking much. But for some reason, just like Hollywood, a lot of that stuff just doesn't come to fruition. And now we get what we get in Jaws 2. I mean, sequels wasn't really nothing up to this point. In 1978, you have a couple of The Planet of the Apes. They've done that, but literally just before The Exorcist 2 came out, that was really it for a sequel. But Jaws made the most money ever in box office history. I think it's the first one ever to go over $100 million. So they had to come up with the second. It just, as much money as that make, it was just gonna happen. That's why the people that owned it, they ended up making the movie. They really didn't want to, but they knew at some point someone else was going to. So they're like, if someone's going to, it's gonna be us. So that's why they did that. The tagline is one of the most famous taglines of all taglines, where it says, when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. It's in the trailer. It's wow. It still holds up today, and a lot of people use that in different other ways, but that's one of the most famous taglines of all taglines in movie history. What makes this movie fantastic is you have a lot of people back from the first movie. Pretty much every single character and the actor you've seen in the first movie that survived, they're back. The only exception would be Richard Dreyfuss, Hooper's character. He is actually on the Aurora, the ship where he declined so he can be with on the island in the first movie. When he said he was going to cancel the ship to go to the Aurora, he's on that for this movie, so he's gone. That's really it, but you have everyone else back. With the original cast back, you also need new characters, so you need new young blood. And they were great. They were fantastic. I compared the young blood by, would I go party with these people? Would I have a beer with them? Would I smoke a joint with these guys? If I think I would, then that's my type of people. I would definitely do with these guys. I will go, if I don't know how to sailboat, but I would go with those guys in a heartbeat. Let's get drunk. Let's have a good time. Yes, I like this crew a lot. Funny part about this, you think it's summertime, but it's not. They filmed this in December. It was literally the day before, I think it's like December 22nd, just before Christmas, is when they got done filming, and then they went home for Christmas, and they were done. So they were cold. Even at some point, like in between takes, the actors would take these ice cubes, put it in their mouth, suck on it, and then so their breath, that you can't see the breath, because the illusion is it's summer, it's July. No, it's literally almost Christmas. This movie has a different tone than the first movie. This one is a lot more brighter. The music is more, it feels like an opera. Not opera, but it's more giddy up alive. It feels really good. I like it. It's a different set different tone. It's a good. This is what a good sequel is. You bring a lot of the original characters, same setting, same idea, but different tone, different angle. Just the shark even looks different. He gets burnt early, so he's scarred up. So it's even he looks different, even though the shark is the same exact mold from the first movie. So same dimensions, same size, but it looks different. Like look at Halloween Kills, for example. That mask, it's the same mask, but it's just burnt. Same idea. I absolutely love this poster. The poster with the chick skiing and the shark in the back. It's one of my favorite posters. Okay, so essentially the story is it's 4 years after the events of the very first movie, and everyone's still living there. They just opened up a brand new hotel. They think, oh, it's great days are ahead of us, and once again, a shark is back, and slowly, one by one, people are getting taken, they're missing, they're getting killed, and the question is it a shark? What's going on? And Chief Brody's the first one to figure it out, and no one believes him to the point where he gets fired. And he still has to prove them wrong. And at the very end, the shark goes after the group of kids, which 2 of them are the chief's sons, Mike and Sean. So essentially the movie goes, the shark goes after the kids and the Chief Brody has to catch up to them in time. And does he save them in time before one of the kids gets killed? The opening scene in the first Jaws movie, it's so the top of the top. It just sets the tone. It's so there's no way you're going to beat that. But you can come close. And the idea of these divers going to the wreck site of the boat from the very first movie, great, fantastic. It shows you, hey, it gives you an idea of location where they're at in this movie. You see that boat, like, okay, I know where that boat went down in the first movie, just outside the island. He's home. The shark's home. This movie was a lot of coming of age type setting, where like the first movie was more about adults and really nothing about coming of age, the kids and shit. But this really focused on the kids, the teenagers, and them growing up, dealing with the boy girl stuff. And I mean, nothing's wrong with it. It's good. I love it. That's what makes this movie different than the first movie. You're dealing with different problems besides the shark. The music in this is I love it. It's very different. It's definitely nothing you hear in the first movie. It's its own little melody. It's beautiful. So when that chick, the skier, and the shark is behind and just you see the fin, oh, man. Ooh. That shit is terrifying as fuck, dude. Whenever you see the lighthouse in this movie, they built that for this movie because they wanted to give it more of a New England vibe. But yeah, I thought it was been there this whole time, but no, it's just one of those Hollywood things they built and they put into it. When they show that dead whale on the side and how big it is, that was such a dope fucking whale, dude. And it's a good way in perspective to show you how big of a bite this shark is. That's a great way of showing how big this shark really is. When he looks to the sea again, it gets me every time because he just like he has that feeling like it's back. He just knows it in the back of his mind. I've had that feeling that Chief Brody has when he shoots at the water at the fish. I didn't shoot the fish, but the feeling of afterwards knowing that you're getting fired for doing something stupid. Yeah, I've been there. I've done that. Yeah. One of the biggest jump scares of all jump scares is when the divers are in the water and they're doing the lobster diving stuff to get the lobsters, and that shark just comes out fucking nowhere, and that one guy goes up in the water. Woo! And then the divers are on the boat, and you just see the fin behind them in the water, just slowly cruising by. That fin is fucking huge, dude. It was brilliant how they show that one kid getting killed by the shark. Tina's boyfriend. He's in the water, and they don't show the shark. They show him being dragged to the boat, and then he grabs the boat, and he gets pulled on there so hard enough where he breaks the board. Ooh. They do show the shark a little bit. The shark when he goes under the boat. I love those angles, the bird's eye view, looking down, and you just barely see the shark. I think those are the scary shit. Where you can just barely see it, but it's there. I love this whole movie. It built up to a great ending to the kids trying to survive and Chief Brody coming to the rescue. A helicopter gets taken down, and it's even realistic helicopter. It's a tiny little motherfucker, and that shark could definitely do it. Oh yeah, that one scene when that chick just gets devoured is probably one of the nastiest kills in this whole franchise. These 4 movies, that's probably the nastiest kill. Oh man, it just gets me every fucking time. I love the ending where the shark just comes up and bites the cable and just electrocutes itself and it burns to death and dies. But the lead up to that, when it comes at the Chief Brody, loved it. Overall, this movie really did a great job. It's a great sequel. I enjoy it very much. I've seen this a lot, just as much as the first. Maybe just a little more than the first, but it's right up there with it. There's a scene in this movie where on Brody's front porch, there's a flower pot that's yellow. It's supposed to be the barrel of one of the 3 from the very first movie. When you see that, check it out. Yeah, it is the goddamn barrel from the first movie. So when he comes out of his house after being fired and there's all the beer cans outside the truck, look behind. On the front porch is a flower pot. That's one of the barrels from the first movie. This movie ended up being the highest grossing sequel until the following year Rocky 2 came out and beat that. But that's how great this movie really did. It really did great. It's not that close to the first one. Like I said, it's way better than 3 and 4. It holds up to itself. I really enjoy this movie. That's why overall for the Sky Gene score, I'm going to give it a 7.5. 7.5 for the Sky Gene score. I'm curious what you guys all think. Did you guys enjoy this movie? Did you think this was a great way for the sequel to go, the route of it to go from the first movie? Do you think Jaws should have been just a one and done movie? Do you think 3 and 4 should happen? Let me know below, guys. Alright, just remember, if you go to jail, don't drop that soap, guys.